Plaquemine Parish Council, January the 26th, 2023 meeting is now called to order at 3:38 p.m. We have roll call. Let the record reflect that all 9 council members are present. We'll go to the next item, please.
Item 2, executive session, there are none. Item 3, proclamations, there are none. Item 4, status report by the parish president.
Mr. President?
Good afternoon.
It should be.
They don't want you to talk, man.
It's on.
What's that? There we go. Good afternoon. Just a couple things. We've got an emergency preparedness meeting come Monday with Mr. Harvey, the Office of Emergency Preparedness. We had a little semi-test this past week here with that's the event that came through. Fortunately, we didn't have any problems there, but come Monday, we're going to go through pretty much a mock type hurricane situation, just go through the experiences that they experienced during Isaac when it came through. We had a meeting this week with Senator Cassidy's office, a young lady by the name of Stephanie Bopp. There's the Lake Pontchartrain Basin organization, and now this dates back to 2002. We have had absolutely 0 projects come from that program right there, so that was kind of disappointing when we saw that report. The Lake Pontchartrain Basin only affects the East Bank side of Plaquemine Parish. So any monies that we get from that organization is strictly for the East Bank. And some of the projects that we're looking at, there's a clean drinking water grant. I think it even also may involve a new water tower for the East Bank here. Talking about water plants, the West Point Lahash water plant, we had a meeting with Trigon and the engineers about last week. So at the end of this week or next week, the plan should be finalized. They're going to get together with the engineers, give it another 2 weeks of questions that need to be answered. So somewhere at the end of February, beginning of March, that project's going to go out to bid. So we're moving forward with that right there. So that's about the highlights of the last 2 weeks here. A lot more has been going on, but those are some of the highlights.
Any comments from the table?
Yes.
Mr. Konovich?
Yes, so on the water plant, we've been pushing for that Port Sulphur water plant for a while now, and Trigon was supposed to have everything ready to go last year. And before I become a councilman, I signed up to get the printout from the water test and all. Mm-hmm. And I just received one the other day. I can't find it right now, but it wasn't good.
Well, okay, you're talking about the reports that we got here. Well, it got an F rating. Now, the reason that the West Point Lahash water station got an F rating, it's not up and running. It's because it's completely shut down. But the water that goes through that facility is A-rated water. That's water that's coming from the Belle Chase water plant. So the water that's going through there is an A-rated water.
Because I'd have to dig them up, but it failed on 2 of the things. And
all I can tell you is I can relay the report that I got from Mr. Morgan from Infomark, and the
that's
water.
where I get it from.
Yeah. No, he assured me that the water that's coming out of that plant is an A rating. Because it does come from the Belle Chase water plant, which has an A rating.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Mr. Georgich?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
the Lake Pontchartrain Basin Foundation, that money, is it used in any fashion, or does it have to be used on coastal projects?
Well, this is clean water, clean drinking water, which is, that's not a coastal project, but there are many coastal projects that it can be used for. Like I said, there's even, areas in there where you can work on getting the water tower. Now, we threw the levee out there, but we're looking at $400-something million on the levee on the East Bank. But they're only getting about, I think, $10 or $12 million, from the federal government on an annual basis there. So, but what we're shooting for is we want our piece of the pie on an annual basis there.
Exactly. I just wanted to see if it had to be used just for coastal use, or if it can be used for infrastructure or something.
No, it's infrastructure as well, but strictly the East Bank.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Mardi Gras Pass.
Well, there you go. All right.
Any more comments from the table? Audience?
Parish Blocks, Phoenix, Louisiana, and the address is 156 Crossover Land. Mr. President, before you spend any of that money, I'd like to have some of it for the water line in Phoenix. This was taken December the 23rd of December, because if anybody that was in here when I poured some water like this from worse than this in September, I think it was, of 2022. And they said it was because we still got metal pipes in the system over there, and also down on St. John land and St. Joseph land still have metal pipes. But this water was collected on 23rd of December, and because they said the water lines had froze and had several busted water lines, so that was disturbed the water in the pipes. But I still believe that we are drinking bad water. We just don't see it because it don't be disturbed.
Yeah. And one of the projects that we identified is for that right there.
All right, good. I just want to know.
All right.
Can we get a few of those dollars?
No,
I know the
on the table.
lines,
All right.
the lines over here still asbestos.
I know. But they say the best is on the outside of the pipes. So,
But no, the water lines, the lines are what we brought to the table
all right, I appreciate it.
for this right here.
All right. I won't collect any more, so.
All right, good.
Next item, please.
4A, update by charter directors, old business, new business.
Is there any questions at the table for the directors? Mr. Newsom?
Yes. Good afternoon. I just want to give a shout out to Keith and your staff, Mr. Wishes and all. We had a couple projects that we've turned requests in, and within a day, Mr. Wishes, thank you. He's been on it. Matter of fact, saw him on the highway today. I stopped and talked to him. We took care of 2 problems today. So big thanks goes out to you guys. Looking forward to keeping up the good work. So again, just a shout out and thank you to you guys.
Ms. McCarthy?
I would like to second that. I've had a few issues on Chapel Hill and now on J Street, and there's one other with a sinkhole, and you guys have responded, and the people only ask that you communicate with them when you're in the yard and tell them what you're doing. But thank you.
Mr. Edwards?
Yeah, I wish I can say the same thing. East Bank levee, Highway 39, we really need some serious work done on it. But I want to thank you, Mr. Hinckley, because ever since you've been the president in a small period of time, you've made over 3 trips to the East Bank of the river. I had a chance to ride with you, really look at the issues. So I want to commend you. So I hope that same relationship extends to the director. I've talked to most of them already. So I hope we can get that East Bank Highway 39 clear, because it's getting worse every day.
I agree with you. And look, it was irritating. That bothered me today, too, to come down and see what I saw. But also, Mr. LaFrance, back by the playground and on Civic Drive by the community center, there was a project. I'm going to let Mr. Wishers explain what we did here in the last couple of days. And they're probably working on it as we speak, maybe.
Yeah, most of that's done. Councilman LaFrance, we've spoke about it as well. You saw the photos. What he's references, those two ditches, one behind the post office in Port Sulphur and one behind the YMCA in Port Sulphur. Pretty quick fixes. We're gonna do the same thing. We're trying to work all areas at the same time. The big holdup on the East Bank, Reverend Edwards, has been the lilies at the Scarsdale pump station. It's taken all the manpower every day. They're trying to keep those lilies out of the grading. But we're gonna get on that ditch work along the side of the highway again, as soon as we can free up from that.
Yes, and I would like to thank you for taking care of that ditch on South Street and back of the post office. Several years I was trying to get that ditch cut, and it hasn't happened for several years. Y'all been in office 20 days, and it has been cut. And when I went down that street, several of the residents stopped me and thanked me for having a ditch cut, and I told them it's not me, it's the new administration. So I'm looking forward, positive things like that, where we wouldn't have to come to the table and criticize, that we always would have a positive things to say. And also, Mr. President, I would like to thank you for that phone call during that bad weather. Anticipate that if we were to need for the Post Sulphur YMCA to be open, that you would gladly open it. Thank you. And that is a change from previous administration.
Well, Ms. LaFrance, you are part of this right here, so I want to thank you, okay?
Any more comments from the table?
Right here.
Mr. Konovich?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you for that call too. Past administration, I opened up the auditorium and somebody called the fire marshal and almost had it closed down. But I appreciate all y'all doing right now, and if y'all ever in the district, if y'all could give me a call, and if I could get away and meet with y'all, I'd like to do that.
My calendar kind of blew up real quick here when I first got in office, but my intentions are on Wednesdays or any day of the week that you need me down in your area. But I'm trying to clear up times to be over here on the East Bank and times to be all the way from Venice all the way up to Port Sulphur. So believe me when I'm telling you, I'm trying to work it in here, but it's been a wild 20 days here, but we've still been able to take care of business there. So
Thank you.
got you covered.
Mr. Jurtich?
Yes, I just want to say the same. I mean, it couldn't have a better group to work with. I mean, y'all answer the phones, y'all respond quickly, and it's really going great. I mean, my few constituents are extremely thrilled already with the little bit that we've done in this short period of time. So I want to thank y'all very much. I like seeing y'all down the road and everywhere, and anything you need, just as Councilmember Konovich said, feel free to call on me. Thank you.
Mr. Barris, look like you are in shock and awe. It's truly surprising to hear that, huh?
I love good news, Mr.
Yes, yes. Good. Thank you and your staff. We'll move to the next item, please.
5, bids and advertisements. 5A, a resolution authorizing the purchase agent to advertise for and dispose of surplus vehicles and equipment on an as-is basis through public auction conducted by Henderson Auctions. Councilmember LaFrance.
I so offered,
Second.
seconded by Mrs. McCarthy. Any questions from the table? Comments from the audience? Administration? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item, please.
5B, a resolution authorizing the acceptance of bids for furnishing river dumped sand for parish-wide use. Councilmember LaFrance.
So offered. Seconded by Mr. Konovich. Any questions or comments from the table?
Yeah, what is this, you mean conduct saying?
Any sand that the parish would need for sandbagging or any type of use that the
Okay.
parish would need? Any comments from the table? Audience? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item, please.
6, beer and liquor licenses.
Dr. Goy? If anyone has it, please cue in.
I have an alcohol license application for Andrew Shuford, Pour Over Cafe, Pelican Crest, Belchase, Louisiana. And I also have a renewal alcohol license application for Hall Real Estate Management, the Old Cellar Bar. That's all I have.
Mr. Konovich?
Yes, I have a permit for Adams Grocery Store, 41245 Highway 23, Boothville. That's it.
Mr. Juritage?
Yes, I have a special event permit for the Croatian American Society for their Food and Culture Festival. Address 14044 Highway 23, Belchase, Louisiana, 70037.
Okay, and I have a special event permit for the Night of Columbus, a chili cook-off on March the 19th, 2023. And also Kalen Bartholomew, February the 21st is Diamond Parade, starting at 10 a.m. We have a motion by Mr. Konovich, seconded by Mr. Juritage. Any comments from the table? Audience? Administration? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item, please.
7, building permits. 7A, construction permits. 7A1, Gulf South Pipeline Company LLC, application number 2023-4, dated January 4th, 2023. Perform maintenance on 4 existing do not dredge signs, West and East Point LaHash areas and Venice area. Council members Edwards, LaFrance, and Kotnovich.
Also offered. Seconded by Reverend Edwards. Any questions from the table? Administration? Audience? Machines are open. And the measure passes 8 to 1 abstention. 8 for, 1 abstention.
B is withdrawn. C, River Oaks West LLC.
Deferred.
D, Kirk Press Trailer Park Renewal, 38920 Highway 23. E, Shady Oaks Mobile and RV Park Frank Daigle, conditional approval for 6 additional spaces, Shady Oaks Lane, Belchase, Louisiana. Councilmember Jurisic.
We have a motion by Mr. Juritage, seconded by Mr. Konovich. Any questions from the table? Administration? Audience? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item, please.
8, introduction of ordinances and resolutions.
We have a few. The first one is for Councilmember LaFrance, a resolution approving the holding of an election in Plaquemines Parish Hospital Service District Number 1, State of Louisiana, on Saturday, April 29th, 2023, to authorize the levy of a special tax therein and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember LaFrance has the following two. An ordinance to amend the 2023 Waterworks and Sewage Fund operating expenditure budget, Waterworks and Sewage Operation Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 2023 General Fund operating expenditure budget, Legal Judgments Department for final judgment settlements of outstanding legal settlement cases, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The final one is for Councilmember Schultz. An ordinance to rename the parish-wide sewer projects fund to the Parish Surplus Fund and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. That's all.
9, ordinances and resolutions on second reading and final passage. 9A, ordinances in public hearings pursuant to Article 6, Section 601E of the Plaquemines Parish Charter. 9A1, an ordinance approving a plan of re-subdivision Lot 10C, Jesuit Bend, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, into lots 10C1 and 10C2, Jesuit Bend, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as shown on the plan and plat of survey by Dufran Surveying and Engineering Incorporated, dated September 19, 2022, and November 11, 2022. The owner, having fulfilled all of the requirements of the subdivision and re-subdivision ordinance of the parish of Plaquemines without cost to the Plaquemines Parish government or the parish of Plaquemines, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Newsom.
I so offer and ask for a second.
Second.
And
We have a motion by Mr. Newsom, seconded by Mr.
we
Jurich.
have changes, and I'll read the changes. On line 18 through 20, and then again on line 18 through 20. A new whereas is added. Whereas prior to issuance of any building permit for the future development on lot 10-C2, the current or future property owner shall install adequate fire protection in a servitude for the benefit of lot C-10C-2 to accommodate any future development. And then on the second page, on line 59 through 62, the following has been added. Prior to the issuance of any building permit or future development on lot 10-C2, the current or future property owner shall install adequate fire protection in a servitude for the benefit of lot 10-C2 to accommodate any future development. And those are the changes.
I also offer with those changes.
Second.
Mr. Newsom offered with changes, seconded by Mr. Jurich. Any comments from the table? Administration? Audience? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item, please.
Item B is withdrawn. Item.
Deferred.
Oh, is it deferred? Yes. Okay.
Item C is deferred.
It's deferred. D, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan, resurface Highway 11 Empire to Triumph, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Kotovich.
Can you read the changes?
Sure. On line 8, the amount has been changed to $1,500,000. On line 10, the following has been removed. $2 million from the fund balance designated for the bond indebtedness. That has been removed. And then on line 11, the amount has changed to $405,759. And those are the changes.
And
With that, I'll offer.
We have a motion by Mr. Konovich, seconded by Mr. Jurich. Any question from the table?
This is just a patchwork until we could redo the whole thing, right?
That's true, but I don't like to use the word patchwork, okay? These are repairs.
All right, thank you.
Any question from the table? Comments?
I'm in the
That's
queue.
all.
I'm in the queue.
Mr. Newsom?
Yes, this is, like you said, patchwork. It's, upon Mr. Konovich's request, we took a ride. It's as well. I'm telling everybody what they know, highway, that's in bad shape, so appreciate all the work that we can get done on that, and I'm sure y'all have identified the worst spots and fixed those, so that's, residents down there, for safety, it's a big deal, and we need to get that work done. What's the anticipated, timeframe on this?
We don't have that yet. We've got to get this has to be approved first before we can
Thank you.
move forward there.
Mr. Jurich?
Yes, I just want to be sure that this repair work, we start looking at funding, some funding to try to get this whole highway resurfaced, because it will need it by the time these repairs are made in, a timely manner. We want to try to work as quickly as possible to secure some funds.
There's daily conversations, hourly conversations. Every 15 minutes, there's conversations of finding money. Okay, so believe me, that is a way of life right now for me and the staff here. Find us the money. People want to do things. They want to work for this parish. I said, look, we'll eat what we kill. Let's find us some money here, and then we'll take care of these projects right here. So,
Thank you very much.
Mr. Schultz?
Yeah, I just want to echo, I drove it the Saturday after the last council meeting. It's bad. I agree that this is a temporary fix, repair, but work on a long-term solution of repaving the whole thing. So we're all in agreement on that.
Any more comments from the table? Mr. McCarthy?
I have a question. Do we already own the supplies that are going to fill the road, patch the road? Do we already own the tar or?
no.
We don't? Asphalt?
We'll use some of our equipment. We have some materials, but I've got a Dr. Green that's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks, and I want to get with Councilman Jurisic and Konovich. I want them to get together with us when we take a look at these projects and let them explain to us the products that are going to be necessary and what we need to do to make these repairs a lot more permanent than just a temporary fix here. Okay?
I also drove it about a month ago, actually, and I've looked into it, and I think there's new technology coming out that will allow us to take the tar or the asphalt that's there and put it back down.
And that's the conversation I've had with, there's Dr. Green that I'm talking to.
Okay, good.
here, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Any more comments from administration? Audience? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously.
Thank y'all.
Next item, please.
A resolution to rename the Coastal Zone Management Department to the Coastal Resource and Protection Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto, Councilmember LaFrance.
I so offered.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by me, second by Mr. Konovich. Any question from the table?
Yeah,
Mr. Evans?
what's the purpose of this name change? What makes it different?
I believe what it is it's just in what we're talking about doing. It's coastal resources and protection. John's here. Okay, all right. I didn't realize. Go ahead, John.
It's to bring protection underneath the Coastal Resource Department, protection meaning the levees and all the outer parts that's concerned with the coastal areas. So it gives us 100% of resource and protection for when we go into the state, the federal government, the levee boards to work together, that it all shows as a unified department. Because before we were levies were like broken down into like 4 different departments would take care of it. And as we establish this department here, it'll have the levies and all the restoration projects and all under one umbrella.
Consolidation.
Yes, sir.
And I was under an assumption that was automatically already a part of it and was within every language that we have been sending out in the past.
Okay. Any more comments from the table? Administration? Audience? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously.
F, an ordinance to amend the 2023 general fund operating expenditure budget, Parish Council, District 3 Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
We have a motion by Mr. Schultz, seconded by Mr. Champagne. Mr. Schultz.
So what this does is, last meeting, I moved my council assistant to part-time. This is the other half of the adjustment, moving it into professional services into District 3. This is the savings that is going to happen, and in case if I need an assistant full-time later in the year, the money's already allocated to District 3. If not, it's in professional services. And if I need to move it anywhere, it does come back before the council for approval. So and if I don't use it by the end of the year, it rolls over into the general fund. It's just basically a placeholder until, for long-term determination.
Any more questions or comments from the table? Administration? Audience? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item, please.
G, a resolution appointing the members of the Audit Committee of the Plaquemines Parish Council for 2023 pursuant to Section 708 of Article 7 of the Charter for Local Self-Government, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
We have a motion by Mr. Schultz. Do we have the names?
Yes, we do. On line 7, please enter Chris Schultz, Mark Konovich, and Ronnie Newsom.
Offer with the changes.
We have the
Just to fill in a blank.
offer with fill in the blanks. We have a motion by Mr. Schultz, seconded by Mr. Champagne. Any question from the table? Administration? Audience? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item, please.
H, an ordinance to establish the distribution of departments, offices, and agencies of Plaquemines Parish government and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Gui.
Offer S for a second.
We have a motion by Dr. Gui, seconded by Mr. Schultz. Any questions from the table? Well, Dr. Gui?
Mr. President, you're on.
All right, here we go. Basically, what we're doing here is we're bringing all of the departments under the main 3 directors, as that's where our charter is. Now, you may see a department you may question a department that's would be under the administration, but we have family members that are working for the parish and they can't work under certain ways. So that's where we separate and move departments from one director to another there.
Is there any more comments from the table? Mr. Newsom?
Yes. Yes, on this, we're gonna have to, since we passed 9E, this is still listed as, do we need to change coastal zone management to the correct?
No.
No?
That's-
Because it's still listed as coastal zone management on this, ordinance.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make that change.
I've changed it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Dr. Gui, you good with the changes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And the second is good? Any more comments?
Can we get a email listing? That way we could.
Well, what we'll do is, what I'd like to do is get a flow chart to you as well, so that you can, I like visual aids.
All right,
So,
thank you.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Yeah, that was my question. Is there a flow chart for the public to look at? Okay.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Henry. Any more comments from the audience? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item, please.
I, a resolution authorizing the council secretary to advertise for a special counsel for the parish council, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember McCarty.
Offered.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. McCarthy, seconded by Reverend Edwards. Mrs. McCarthy.
Although we have council now, I think it's always good when we have a new administration to open up the bid process to find out who is available so that we can explore our options. And that's all we're doing here, is just allowing more people to apply for the position, and we're going to interview them and then make a choice.
Mr. Newsom?
Yes, I agree with that. Where will this be advertised, and will it be in a, I guess, local paper, or we're going out on?
It'd be wherever the council, I mean, civil service typically just does a gazette, but however, we could do it in any venue you all wanted to. So if you want to run it in a broader newspaper, if you want to put it on some special advertisements, the council secretary can handle that for you.
Okay, do we have to put that in this resolution, or?
No, sir. That would just be part of the normal course of business. So there should be monies in the council secretary budget for stuff like this. So she would just use that budget, right? And if not, maybe legal will loan you some money.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because
Thank
we
you.
don't have funds right now to advertise it elsewhere. Only in the Gazette, as far as I understand right now, but we would like to advertise it in the Advocate in Baton Rouge or
What was,
LinkedIn.
we advertised a while back for something, and the advocate was.
No, for the Register of Voters, I checked on advertising for the Advocate, and it was very expensive, like in $1,000 range for one-time ads.
And I believe it's $60 to advertise it with the Louisiana Bar Association.
Right, for 50 words. Anything over that's $1 per word.
There are also legal publications that go out other than the Bar Association that I can provide to you all. And
That would be great.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're usually published monthly, so I don't know if that's going to, that might be too much time for y'all, but, we can look at some other options.
Thank you.
Dr. Goy?
I'm sure when the word gets out, advertising won't be necessary. But if we don't get a suitable pool of candidates, we can come back to the table and talk about appropriating money for advertising elsewhere. I think we're covered real good with this. I'm done.
Any questions from the table? Administration? Audience?
Yes, this is for advertise for the legal counsel. Could you tell the public what the time frame you want to select a counsel, attorney for the council?
We have a time frame, a deadline set at this point for the day after Mardi Gras, because of Mardi Gras holidays.
Okay.
We can always extend it if needed, but that's what it's set for right now. Okay.
Any more comments? Machines is open. And the measure passes 9-0. Next item, please.
J, an ordinance to amend and as amended to readopt the Plaquemines Parish Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Section 217, Rules for Transaction of Business Before the Council, Rule 17, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Gui.
I'll offer.
We have a motion by Dr. Gui, seconded by Reverend Edwards. Dr. Gui.
This is the companion legislation that we previously passed on behalf of the port. If we need to expand the conversation, I'll answer any questions.
Any comments from the table? Administration.
Kim, will you provide a template of what, how this is going to run? I'm sure you will, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just give us a template.
Audience? Machines are open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item?
K, a resolution granting conditional approval for a plan of subdivision of J. Circovich LLC, Lot 8A, Section B, Belchase Plantation, Section 9, Township 14 South, Range 25 East, Southeastern Land District of Louisiana, west of the Mississippi River, Belchase, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana into lots 8D, 8B, 8E, 8F, and 9E. Section B, Belchase Plantation, Belchase, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as shown on map of subdivision by Dufresne Surveying and Engineering Incorporated. Registered Land Surveyor dated February 11th, 2021, revised October 20th, 2022, without cost to Plaquemines Parish Government or the Parish of Plaquemines. Councilmember Champagne.
I'll offer.
We have a motion by Mr. Champagne, seconded by Mr. Schultz. Mr. Champagne.
What this is a subdivision of a Lot 8A into 5 lots. It's been approved by all department superintendents, and it must comply with subdivision ordinance number 96-41. It's located off of Main Street. I see no issues at this time. I'm open to any discussion.
Any comments from the table? Administration. Audience. Machines is open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item, please.
L, an ordinance reaffirming prohibition of any Plaquemines Parish issued permit for authorization, construction, and/or operation of any Mississippi River diversion project, and directing and authorizing any and all legal steps necessary to prevent harm to Plaquemines Parish, its citizens, its industries, its natural resources, its economy, and its environment from aforementioned Mississippi River diversion projects. Councilmember Jurasich.
I so offer and ask for unanimous second.
Does anyone have a problem with a unanimous second? You have it. We have a motion by Mr. Jurich, unanimously second. Mr. Jurich.
Yes, this is an ordinance that is basically strengthens the ordinance that was passed in 2014, I believe, by that council back then. So what I wanted to do was be sure that we were more protected and, strengthened, gave it a lot more strength this time around. So in the future, we can have a say in some of these issues.
Any more questions or comments from the table? Administration? Audience?
Got one.
Mr. Konovich?
With if they build this diversion, they're gonna build a bridge over the canal. And as we know for Ida, it flooded from the siphons south. So if somebody had to drive in and out on the levee, how would that work? Now you're stopping a safe evacuation. So,
Well, this is something that we can discuss at the hurricane meeting on Monday, and we can get dialogue going on that right there. In the past, I mean, I hear what you're saying. So in the past, we evacuated on the highway.
yeah, but if it's flooded, we always had the levee to come in or out
Yeah.
if we needed to get down there.
Yeah. Well, good point. We'll have to bring that up with CPRA and see what their provisions are for that right there. But we'll discuss it Monday at the hurricane preparedness meeting, and I'll give you an update on that.
Thanks.
Reverend Edwards?
East Bank, we have that same issue using the levy, so.
Any more comments from the audience? Machines is open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item, please.
9M, a resolution to appoint the members whose term has expired on the Coastal Zone Advisory Committee and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Kotnovich.
Do you have the names?
They own it.
So offered by Mr. Konovich,
Offer.
Second.
seconded by Mr. Jurich. Any comments from the table? Administration? Audience? Machine is open. And the measure passes 8. Excuse me. Oh, okay, we have verbal. Okay, so the measure passes 9-0. It passes unanimously. Next item, please.
9N, a resolution appointing Plaquemines Parish members of the Regional Planning Commission and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Kotnovich.
I'll offer and fill in the blank.
We have a motion by Mr. Konovich. Do I have a second? Mrs. McCarthy? Mr. Konovich.
Line 29, Mark Konovich. 32, Alan Hero. 36, Rob Hopkins.
Do we need another council person by any chance?
Carlton is on it.
Who?
The chair,
Oh, okay, I see.
his name was on the, it filled in already.
Any more comments from the table? Any comments from the table? Mr. Newsom?
Yes, I was speaking to folks, spoke with the parish president. Is Mr. Hero going to be able to attend meetings, or I know they've had some conversation about that. I would like to see if we can put somebody else in that spot, because this is very vital to our region, and, so that's what I got. I know I've spoke to some folks about some different names on there, so see what everybody else thinks about it. Thank you.
Ms. McCarthy?
I spoke with Mr. Hero this morning, and I had learned that he was ill, and that's why he wasn't attending the last couple of meetings. I'm told that he is very healthy, according to him, and that he has to attend a couple of classes the next couple of meetings because there's a conflict on that date. And if you want, I will attend in his stead for those next few classes.
He could appoint somebody to take his
Okay.
spot at a meeting.
Okay,
Anybody who can't make it can have a substitute go.
Let's
but
give-
he will be joining as soon as his classes end, which is, I think, 3 months.
Okay.
But we should try and encourage, if someone can't attend, to appoint someone.
All right, let's look into this first before we say that it's you. Not that
Right.
it's not a problem with you, but it's a community individual,
Right.
You being another council member.
Okay,
So
I got it.
Let's make sure that that's okay. But I will get my staff I'll get Shanta to look into that tomorrow and on Monday.
Okay.
But
As I understand it, a council member can attend if they want to, even though we're not appointed.
yeah. Well, you can attend. The
Yes.
public can attend.
Anybody can
There's-
attend.
There's no limitations
thought.
to who can go. But I'd like to just stress that the value of
The
us
community.
being there at these meetings. There's
Yes.
a lot of money that
Oh, I
comes
agree.
through that organization, through that committee right there. So I'm going to stress that Tuesday of the month, we all need to be there. And I'm going to see that, Mr. Hopkins and Mr.
Good.
Hero do attend these meetings right there.
Thank you.
Mr. Newsom?
Yes, with these appointments, Mr. President, are you okay with these appointments? Because I know you have to, this is a division that's probably come through your office that we need in it. Are you okay with them? Okay, thank you.
Any more comments from the table? Administration? Audience? Machine is open. And the measure passes unanimously. Next item?
10, approval of the minutes from the November 15th, 2022, January 3rd, 2023, and January 12th, 2023 special meetings, and the January 12th, 23 regular meeting.
Offer.
We have a motion by Mr. Konovich,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Jurich. Any comments from the table? Administration? Audience? Machine is open. Mr. Schultz? Mr. Edwards?
I thought I hit yes.
Councilmember Newsom? Okay.
And the measure passes 9-0. Next item, please.
11, new business. 11A, introduction of resolutions wherein suspension is being sought. 11A1, a resolution appointing the members of the Board of Commissioners, Hospital Service District Number 1, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
We have a motion by Mr. Schultz for suspension. Seconded by Dr. Gouy. Any question from the table? Mr. Konovich?
I don't think we should be suspending the rules for these two things because they could lay over. It's not pending. The people in it right now serve until they're replaced. So, you know, people on the internet, like this Dr. Gouy just passed, they just saw hospital board with no names. So I say we just introduce both of them for the next meeting.
I'm good with that. We'll wait. On the second one too, on the next item.
You want to?
Next,
Kim, can you move to introductions?
yes, hold tight, let's see. Can we move back to item 8?
Item what?
8, introduction of ordinances and resolutions.
Yeah, there was those two items.
Sure, the following items are for Councilmember Schultz, a resolution appointing the members of the Board of Commissioners, Hospital Service District Number 1, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution to appoint the members of the Plaquemines Parish Zoning and Planning Development Board, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. That's it.
Okay, we'll come back to item
Deferred B.
11A B.
Deferred.
Deferred.
Let's see. Are you moving forward with?
My C, yeah, I'll defer it, but I'll ask the directors at the next council meeting to give me a report on Diamond Park, Ironton Park, and the center back there in Grand Bayou. Okay? We'll go to item D, please.
D, discussion about stormwater runoff on the East Bank. Councilmember Edwards.
Yes, I'm gonna have, Clarence Brock to come up.
Parish, Bronx, Phoenix, Louisiana, 156 crossover land. I'm trying to be brief because I'm gonna read it off, but you still won't be able to catch the 515 ferry. So, all right, stormwater runoff. Stormwater comes from heavy rain. If not drained properly, can cause flooding in the community. Stormwater also comes from large body of water that is forced into the community by wind. Water that breaches the levees and the flood walls and flood the communities, such as done by a hurricane. Stormwater runoff is the removal of the water from the community. Stormwater runoff consists of drainage ditches, drain pipes, levees, pumping stations, and floodgates. Phoenix, Devan, Parish have Highway 39 levee to Bohemia, attached to the Mississippi River levee to Phoenix, creating a large bowl. The question is, do the two levees have the standard height to protect the residents? The answer is no, because they're not the same standard with other levees in Plaquemines Parish. Are the pumping station up to date? Are the pumps ready? The answer is no. No, because we don't have, our pump stations don't have our regular pumps that we've been having. They're out of date. And we still have rental pumps that's on the outside of the pumping station. And if we get a hurricane, there's a good chance they might blow the pipe loose, or may blow the pump itself off the levee because it's outside in the weather. Is the drainage ditches, are they clean, free from debris? No. There are drainage ditches that leave out of the communities, around the houses, up to the back road. They are full of trees, and trees that have fallen down for years. So, and also the last part, the floodgates. We have 4 floodgates on the back highway in 39 that and all 4 of them have been closed and filled up with concrete this last summer. And they put hundreds of thousands of dollars to closing the floodgates. So without the floodgates and without the drainage ditches, without the pumps, you cannot do stormwater runoff. So the water and the levees not high enough, the water will sit in the community and sit there for days. Only way we'll be able to get it out, we have to bust the levee. And the best levee to bust is the federal levee, because the water will go back down and recede back to the marsh. Mississippi River Bridge, the Mississippi River, you don't want to breach that because the water is always there. And the question is, would they let us burst the back levee to let the water out so the water could leave out the community? I know back in the past, last year, the answer was a no. So I'm asking the council and Mr. President, are y'all going to work with us to get these problems solved? So not if, but when a storm come and the water come across the levees and going to flood these communities. And the way we have been told, I've been to the permit office to try to get permission to say we are not allowed to have flood insurance, and we are forced to elevate our homes, and we can't afford it. Same thing is if y'all like to have the levees built, but you can't afford it. We understand that. But I want y'all to understand that we can't afford to elevate our houses, not on the income that we're living on.
The question I have for the administration is that the concrete of the floodgate, that's the part, 'cause, we know about the elevation, but that's the part I'm concerned looking into why was concrete poured by the floodgate, And I've just heard it, so if you could just look into that and tell us why it happened and can it be undone?
Now to the community, by them closing up the floodgates, the levee's not high enough, and because the pumping station's not up to date, we got a picture that they want to flood our community. And I can see right now things are different, and I was told by somebody that a lot of these rules are made by the federal government saying that we gotta elevate, and but they're saying a lot of these rules like permits and stuff like that is parish rules that they're making.
Well, let me just say this, Clarence, there's some stuff that I definitely really been working on.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to the permit office.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff is not local as much as it's with FEMA and the federal government. That part I know. Since I've been in this position, that's all I've been doing, looking that up. That part we're really working on relentless. The thing again, on all the things that I put on here was the stormwater runoff as it relates to the concrete in the floodgate. Because all of y'all know, Mr. Hinckley, all of y'all know, I've been weighing y'all on that elevation stuff. Y'all know this council know that I've been talking about that. So I just want to make that clear to you with Clarence. But I really want to put emphasis on all the things that Clarence said today is looking into this concrete at the floodgate. That is a very serious issue. And I hope we can really, and I can't say you give me an answer today because you're getting it for the first time, but really where we can find out that answer and see how we can solve that, because that's a serious problem.
That's all I really want. And I want the help from the council and Mr. President to help us be able to get the water out. It's coming. Everybody knows it's coming. So, and it come, we are not allowed to come back in the area if we have 51% of damage to our homes. They say that is a parish rule. 51% of damage to our homes, we cannot come back and rebuild our homes unless we elevate. And we elevate, we gotta have insurance on the building. They can't afford the insurance, but elevating it. So let me know how y'all can get the water out when they do come.
Thank you for your comments. Could we move back?
I met with
Mr. Konovich?
I met with Steve Scalise a couple of weeks ago about this, and he was saying that they're gonna have to subpoena FEMA to come to a meeting and explain how they got risk 2.0, because they won't tell them, they won't give it freely. And FEMA came to us 2 years ago and said we had to accept the maps. If we didn't, by January 15th, that all of Plaquemines wouldn't have flood insurance. And it's their rules that if you're 50.1% damage, you gotta build and elevate. And I even asked them if we could sign off, I'll release FEMA of any responsibility. And he said they won't go with it. So we got a lot more talking to do. Thank you.
Can we go back to item 11A1, please?
There we go. A resolution appointing the members of the Board of Commissioners, Hospital Service District Number 1, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
I have a comment, please.
You offer for discussion?
Discussion, what?
Yes, for discussion only.
Okay, we have a motion for discussion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. McCarthy. Ms. McCarthy like to speak on that item.
All right, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention, it's my understanding from Mr. Dale Adams that the members of the hospital board are appointed for 4 years each, and only 4 years. And therefore, they are not in office right now, and they are conducting business without being in office. And so they're asking, or they would ask, if we could go ahead and appoint the people that have been.
Are they in office until we replace them?
Can I say something on that? That must have just happened.
Hold on. You have to cue in, please. Cue in. Ms. McCarthy, you finished?
No.
Okay.
We were elected in again. So because new people were elected in, although you continued to stay in your office, we had another election, and that's why their term ended, and we have to reappoint them into their positions.
Dr. Gouy?
Yeah, I brought that question to Mr. Burris, and it was our mutual understanding that until replaced, they would hold their position. Mr. Burris is on the phone now to verify that. So I don't know how much time we want to take, but
Okay, sounds good.
But before,
Reverend Edwards?
I served on the medical board for 12 years, 3 administration. We never had a period of time when I was on there where this was the issue. We stood on it until we got another appointment. The 12 years I was on there to the 3 administration, that never was a problem. When the council got around a permanent person, they permanent. If they didn't permanent anybody, unless that person didn't want to stay on, they stood on. So I'm just telling you, from being on there 12 years, that was never an issue. So this got to be something new, because I was on there for 12 years.
So I just got off the phone with Mr. Scandor, who is the hospital board's attorney, and he did the research, and I actually agree with him because there is a general statute that covers all public bodies that basically says those members lay over until they're reappointed by whoever their appointing authority is. So Mr. Scandor is satisfied, and just based on my own knowledge and experience from past appointments, I feel pretty confident that there'll be no issues with the hospital board laying over until the actual reappointments or new appointments are made.
Okay.
Mr. Newsom,
You've answered my question. Thank you.
Mr. McCarthy.
Thank you.
And I'll get you that citation. I don't have it off the top of my head, but there's a specific citation that applies statewide for this type of circumstance.
I'd like to thank everybody for just clarifying that.
Mr. Schultz.
In my understanding, which is why I was the one that put forth my name, was everybody else is keeping their appointees from the previous. Mine has moved districts with the redistricting, so everybody stays over except for mine is open. Oh, yours? Mr. Champagne's, I've been clarified. So, but everybody else will lay over until the February meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Konovich,
Second.
seconded by Reverend Evans. Machines are open.
Who's you appointing?
Mr. Evans?
Oh,
And the measure passes 9-0. We have adjournment at 4:45.